I'm Sketchy Duval, and I'm going to make something today. I have my makeshift easel set up here. This is my iPad on its stand, and I have a towel draped over it. I decided I wanted to try something new, and I also just wanted to draw because I was starting to feel a little emotional, so I thought, what a better way to deal with that than just to put it out on something. So I had this idea that I want to create a memory. I want to draw or paint a memory of mine. Not any one in particular, but just this general idea of wanting to make a memory. I wanted to choose a memory that does not have a picture, like something that I don't have a picture of from my childhood or something, because I wanted to just make something without trying to copy an image that already exists. I want to capture the feeling of the memory through just my own pure expression of what it feels like to me, and trying to get that out as freely as possible without any preconceived idea of looking at a picture from my childhood and being like, okay, I need to just draw that. The memory that I have chosen is from when I was in around probably middle school. I think I was around 12, 13 years old. And at that time, I really loved going in the woods. Kind of my whole teenage years, I was really into just going into the woods. I thought it was so fun. My hometown is in Michigan, and my childhood home was right across the street from a pretty big stretch of forest, I guess, of just woods. I would just go in there, and sometimes I would try to make found footage movies and just run around and whatever. Eventually, I thought it would be fun to build a little hut or something. So I gathered a bunch of long sticks and logs and tree branches, and I made a teepee type shape, little building. I wouldn't even really sit inside of it that much. I just made it and then I left it out there, and I thought that was cool. Just going out in the woods and being alone and exploring. So I want to draw my little self with my, I guess, tree fort or something. I've always been really into forts and cozy little buildings and places and small areas. Kind of if you've ever seen the movie The Secret World of Arrietty, it's kind of that kind of vibe. When I was a kid, I remember I'd always look at corners where the window met the wall or something, and I would see the little ledge, and I'd be like, wow, imagine having a little bedroom right there or something, or being able to sit right there. I would always take my pillows and blankets and turn those into a fort on my bed or under the coffee table in the living room of my parents' house. Actually, it was really fun making my bed into a fort because I had a loft bed, so it was up near the ceiling, so I would hang blankets from the ceiling to cover all around the edges of my bed, and it would block out all the light, and I would have all my plushies up there. I would just sit in there. I thought it was so cozy. I felt like a little fairy or something. This canvas that I'm drawing on is a piece of cardboard from a notebook that I took apart because it was full. It was a notebook that I just had a bunch of notes in, something previously in my life that I no longer need notes for. So I tore out all the pages and threw them away. But then the cardboard, outside part of it, I was like, oh, I can paint on this or something. So this is one side of it. Now, when I was a kid, I was very emo, so that's who I'm drawing. And I think part of the reason I wanted to do this like memory drawing project for myself was because I was feeling a little disconnected from him, and it was kind of scaring me because he is a part of me that I've always felt most connected to at like any given point in my life. I've always connected to a little emo kid me, which sometimes I don't shut up about. I'm always like, oh, little emo kid, little emo kid. It's like, we get it. But yeah, I just wanted to reconnect with him. This isn't entirely accurate because I pretty much exclusively wore skinny jeans from maybe 5th grade to maybe like 2020, honestly. I was obsessed with skinny jeans for a long time, for a very big part of my life. This isn't entirely accurate, but I don't want to draw skinny jeans. And actually, I think I want to give him the beanie that I would always wear. It was a Paramore beanie from Hot Topic, of course. And oh my god, I wore it like every day. I have a lot of love for this version of me in this part of my life because he really shaped, you know, who I am. And I have to always applaud him for doing that in a time and place where not many people understood. One of my childhood friends, like my childhood best friend, honestly, reached out to me. This beanie isn't working. This looks a mess. Anyway, she and I have not spoken since like middle school. It was one of those friendships where nothing bad happened. There was no falling out. We were just very close friends when we were young, like in elementary school. And then as we got into middle school and stuff, we just drifted. In high school, I don't think we ever even really talked. But yeah, she just reached out to me and asked me how I was doing and stuff. And then she's been telling me about her life. Her younger sister just started university. And I'm like, that is wild. Because I remember going to the hospital the day that her sister was born. And I know it's like the same amount of time has passed and affected me as well. But for some reason, when you hear about it in the perspective of other people, it like really makes it feel a little more crazy. I don't know why this beanie is not working for me. I feel like it just looks like foreskin. Also, let me try to figure out the skinny jeans, because that was really a big part of who I was. He had the chunky ass Osiris DC shoes, the skinny legs, and the chunky shoes. Oh yeah. This is kind of how it was. Now let's get into this fort. One will go all the way up here, and it'll come down like this. And then we'll have the other one kind of like this. And then this one can be resting inside of it. And then it'll come down like that. Yes, and then I'll just build from there. I'm not going to be too worried about how real this looks. I don't need every tree branch and log to have a real starting and ending place, because I just more so want to capture the feeling that I had. I think sometimes, I'm sure everyone probably feels this as they grow up into adulthood. I just feel untethered, and I never really felt it until I moved to Japan and I started like really living on my own. And sometimes I just feel untethered. There's just a feeling of being so disconnected because I'm so far from everything that I've ever known previously, you know. And I definitely am happy living here. I'm happy with the choices I've made, but it's like sometimes I guess it's just a little overwhelming how different everything is and how much it has all changed. But at the same time, I wanted it to change. I asked for the change. I worked for the change. I am the change. So I appreciate it, but it scares me at the same time. And it like overwhelms me a little bit sometimes. But that's what life is, honestly. I could make up some story of like, oh, I'm craving my safe space and whatever, and so that's why I'm drawing this. That's not the case. I just thought about wanting to draw a memory, and a few others came to mind before this one, but this one was the least abstract. When I thought of this memory, I was like, okay, I can draw that pretty representationally, you know. Where some of the others, it was more about like a small moment or like a feeling of something, but this one has more like specifics to it to pull from. Going back to my childhood friend reaching out, I don't feel guilty for like drifting, because there's nothing to feel guilty about, like nothing happened. I don't know, there's kind of a thing of like I wonder if we could have stayed in touch this whole time, you know, and I could have seen what happened in her life like in real time instead of hearing about it now and like an update. But maybe we had to go those different ways to like learn about ourselves and stuff, and now we can reconnect, and that makes it even more special. Maybe just take it for what it is. I always like try to get too deep about things, and I'm like, girl, it's just life, like calm down. I'm just kind of free drawing and seeing what happens with these tree branches. Yeah, I think I want some just branches going off to the sides to fill up the space. I think it makes it look a little more beautiful, and it kind of mimics the feeling of the forest. Let's draw some vines, because it was around this time that I also discovered a grapevine, and sometimes it would be like hanging from the trees and I would like swing on it, and I thought I was like Bridge to Terabithia or something. I used to climb trees a lot as a kid too, but then I would sometimes get really scared when I had to come down, so I think that's why I kind of stopped climbing trees. In Japan, I see a lot of bouldering places, like, they call it bouldering here, but I think it's just rock climbing, like indoor rock climbing. I think I would enjoy that a lot, but I haven't tried it yet. I love climbing, like, in video games and stuff, like if they're open world, I love to just climb things, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoy Breath of the Wild so much. I just climb everything. I just explore like the whole world. I've always loved open world video games, but then I just play around and like explore the world, and I don't follow the main quest at all, because I just want to like explore. I'm such a free spirit. Oh, I forgot that there would be branches behind me too, from like the inside of the fort in the back. So let me just quickly block those in. Yes, depth. This is essentially what I had in mind. I was going to ink it, but I just looked at the time and it's after midnight, and also I realized I feel tired. So I don't think I'm gonna ink it tonight. I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, but I think it's really cute. And more importantly, I had fun doing it, and it does evoke that feeling that I had being a little kid, a little emo kid, exploring the woods and building my fort. I'm glad I did this. I think I'll do more of this memory drawing in the future because it does help me feel more grounded and centered. And sometimes I really need help with that. This felt productive and it cheered me up. Here he is for now. If you'd like to see more of my art, I have some other videos doing art, as well as my Instagram, Sketchy Duval, or my website, whatever. My art is like anywhere on the internet if you search Sketchy Duval. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And until next time, goodbye.